So cool. Thank you so much for joining me today, Randy. I'm really excited to talk through our Origin Festival reimagining Mother's Day together.
Me too. I'm honestly so excited for the event and so excited to just talk about it and I don't know, share this magic that we're co-creating together with the world.
Yeah, yeah. So we are part of a group of how many women is there? Five
I
or
think there's like
six?
five or six of us. Yeah.
Yeah. The seed was planted by Jules from Jules in Space, who is hosting us at the sanctuary. And each of us is kind of bringing our own unique magic to make this beautiful vision come to life. I'd love if you wanted to just start by, introducing yourself, letting everyone know a little bit about what you do, and then we can get into, why you wanted to be a part of this mission.
Totally. So my name is Randy Hall, and I am a grief tender. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I identify as a ritualist, and a community builder. I am a cis white woman. I am a Jewish person. I am a mother. I am a wife. I am contain multitudes, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's who I am. And a lot of the work I've been doing in the world, broadly is creating spaces for people to come and show up and bring what's real for them. I love connecting people and I love giving people opportunities to share what's real and true, whether that's through authentic relating, more facilitated circles,
Mm,
whether it's through grief work, or even just bringing people together in connection around shared love for whatever the topic is.
yeah. Yeah. What a good juicy description. I think just by that, people I'm sure are starting to understand why you might have wanted to form this space. So I'm curious, like, what was the moment that you felt that this experience needed to exist?
I mean, it's been bubbling for years now. I think it's been many, many years of living through Mother's Day and having this
Hmm.
time of year, like the spring comes, this time of year starts to come, and this month you see sort of the season cycle in the stores and the grocery stores at CVS and wherever you start to see the cycle start turning from Valentine's Day chocolate things to wouldn't your mother like this? And you see all the things out and about and around. And so this time of year has always been a little tricky for me, having lost my mother when I was very young.
Mm,
It's always kind of tender. And I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandmother liked flowers, liked chocolate, didn't really love to be celebrated. So Mother's Day was this sort
yeah.
of kind of an afterthought day, but it was something we still wanted to celebrate, but it almost felt not wanted. So I'm going a little bit into the history, but um, the moment it just, I got to talking with Jules about our experience of Mother's Day as
Yeah.
two women who have lost our mothers, and how it just felt like I wished Mother's Day, like when I was younger, I wished Mother's Day was a day that was a little bit more intentional. I wished I could celebrate my mom. I wished I could connect with her. And then when I became a mother, I was like, it's nice to be celebrated by my family, but this doesn't feel like it's really capturing what motherhood is. It doesn't feel like it's actually celebrating motherhood.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to be in connection with other mothers on that day. And
Yeah.
so Jules and I started talking about this and feeling this resonance together. And we were like, what if there was a time and a space and a way, and an event where we could actually honor that motherhood experience and all the complexity
Yeah.
that comes with it?
I love that. I really relate to so much of what you shared. Like I, my mother is still living, but I became a mother before I was an adult. Like I got pregnant, when as soon as I turned 16.
Hmm.
So I was completely isolated. There were not other mothers around me, and motherhood wasn't even really something that I was supposed to want. I was like, women in STEM. And then I got pregnant and I was like, I really want to do this. And everyone was like, you're wasting your life. you know, how could you, lose all of your potential? And I'm like, I actually didn't feel like I was losing my potential. I actually felt like this is kind of something I'm really qualified for. Like didn't even know if I was going to be able to have kids because of the health stuff that I had going on. So, it was 14, 15 years of Mother's Days where even the little things that I wanted couldn't be given to me. And I started to understand that, like, oh, I think the only people that understand how to give or care for or honor mothers are other mothers.
Yeah.
Like, even though I wanted it to be a time when I could connect with my kids or when I could connect with my loved ones, like nobody was honoring me. And it just didn't even feel like it was a thing that was for me. It felt very performative and kind of empty. And I'm like, I don't want to Hallmark Mother's Day.
Right.
I want something that feels real and where I can feel
Yeah.
in my body and I can feel safe and supported and not like, uh, not like this continuation of humanity was a waste of my life. Like that narrative was so damaging. So, the second that Jules mentioned this as a potential, I like sank my teeth into it. I was immediately like, I will do whatever we need to
Yes.
do to make this happen because it's something that I had forgot I had been dreaming about my whole life because I had been like beaten down about it. And there was no one else who was even voicing that desire.
I just even
And
want to just
yeah,
the what you just said, just like I felt it in my whole body. There's like I just like want to take that in of just like a forgotten of wanting your entire life. I feel that so deeply. And my sense is a lot of other people feel like don't even know that they want it or feel something but don't know how to put words to that longing. And the story you're describing feels like so important here because it really describes the range of experiences that come with motherhood, whether it's about your mother, whether it's about yourself as a mother, where it's about grappling with society and how we tend to mothers or grow mothers or affirm them or not affirm them. Like it just, there's so much complexity in this that is more than that Hallmark experience. And so I'm really
yeah,
appreciating the variety your story brings because that's the thing we want to make space for is like the full variety of all the ways we could feel about mother.
yeah, yeah, which is such a high calling,
I
and
know, yes. But that's the sink my teeth into. I'm like, this is the thing I've been wanting for so long. It's just like that's the yeah. So sank my teeth into it also.
yeah, I really feel that. Every time we all get together to talk about it, I feel already, even though it hasn't happened yet, I feel the future healing me. Like I feel like just getting to imagine and feel the desire like come alive in all of us and our imaginations like opening to like, oh, this is possible and like that longing is worthy of being manifested. Like it just has filled my heart with so much joy. And I know
I
we've
mean,
kind of oh, go
no, go
ahead.
ahead. No, no, finish your sentence. Sorry, I got excited.
I mean, I was going to ask another question. So if you had a statement before we roll into that.
I do. Yeah. So yeah, I was actually on a call yesterday with Isa, who's going to be, she and I are going to be co-leading the opening circle.
Mhm. Yeah.
And to speak to the power that exists when we come together, as we were describing, we were like listening as we were talking about our vision for what wants to be the opening circle. And then
Hmm.
by the end, we were both feeling like this event actually feels like it has its own life of just like the greater importance of the
Yeah.
seeds, like the possible of like what is to come from the seeds that get planted when people get to feel what is it like to really honor motherhood, honor matriarchy, honor the women who came before us, the womb bearers who came before us, just like where we've come from, where we're going. Like we were just like feeling the bigness of holding a container like that and creating a space where all that we're talking about is welcome.
Yeah.
So just it also came alive in us, and I can just feel it in your description of what happens every time we're meeting about it. We're like co-creating an event, but it feels like it's so much more than an event.
Yeah.
It has the potential, it feels like in my system, like I even feel it now to like be a movement or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm covered. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can see it. I'm covered in waves of goosebumps, like from
Yeah.
the top of my head all the way down to my toes. It feels similar to, like the experience of conception and of like saying yes to a life, to a spirit that like wants to come through you, knowing that like it's going to ask us to become something totally different in order to like bring it through. And so It's almost like the spiritual stretching, like you feel like the swelling of that energy, like just pouring in really. Yeah, and I think we've touched on this a little bit in terms of like what was missing or has been missing in the ways that we culturally celebrate Mother's Day, or we have celebrated Mother's Day in the past. But I wondered if you wanted to speak to that specifically, if there were other elements we hadn't spoken to.
Totally. Well, what Mother's Day has become, if I think about Mother's Day, what I think about is like a nice card, flowers, chocolate, maybe breakfast in bed or brunch.
Yeah.
Right? It's like cool. I mean, and all those things, like I'm so for all of those elements. That's lovely. That doesn't even begin to scratch the tip of the surface of what it is to mother, of what it is, not even just to be a mother, to long to mother, to
Hmm.
like have experienced mother, to have lost a mother, to like even just to not I say even to be a mother and to witness like the day in day out of the love and the loss that is each day with a growing human being, you know, and
Right.
ourselves and the ways that we change and our bodies and the ways that we change. And so it feels like what's missing to like really, really sink down and summarize it, and then we can make it broader, is just acknowledgement, is an
Mm.
acknowledgement of the really broad range of experiences, some of which are delicious and like bigger love than I even knew possible, but also like a lot of motherhood and longing for motherhood and being a child of a mother and being somebody who desires to be a mother or someone who is cut off from mother or like just being like in relationship with that concept, that archetype, that word. It also comes with a lot of pain and a lot of hardship and a lot of loss
Yeah.
and a lot of um, ache and I think what's missing is like also a witnessing of how big a mother's role is in a society that's not really helping. Um,
Yeah.
but like at the very beginning of doing anything about it is seeing it, is like acknowledging it. And so for me, what this whole weekend feels like is an acknowledgement of
Yeah.
the magnitude that is mother, you know, and just like how it um is a unifying piece of all of us. Is like where do we come
Yeah.
from? We come from mother, you know.
Yeah. I love that. I love that, especially because, it's really uniting. I think when people may first come up across, the description or, just a small, even a snippet of like what the agenda is, it may be easy for them to think like, oh, well, I haven't become a mother yet, or maybe I got pregnant and didn't birth that child by choice or by accident, right? By nature. Or maybe they don't even want to become a mother, but they were like, everyone has a mother. Even if you're adopted, you are mothered by someone, whether it's the person that gave birth to you or not. And we have such complex relationships to all of those things. And it would be easy, I think, for someone to come across any of the things that we've made and feel like, oh, that's not for me because
Right.
they're
Even
expecting
Mother
it.
Earth, like that
Hmm.
this place that we live, right? That there is this like broader unifying. So I hear you kind of naming like when people look and see what this is not just let's just celebrate people who identify as mothers.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Let's like
Yeah.
broaden that to see how actually like there is a way that we are all touched by and tethered to that idea.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when I think about, who this space is for, I think a lot about, and I'm curious what you would say to this as well, but I think a lot about like that touching on that longing, right? The longing for recognition, the longing for connection, even if it's just a faint remembrance, right? Like coming into a circle of other people who are also choosing to orient towards like they want to remember, even though they acknowledge that some of it is going to be joyful and pleasurable and ecstatic, and some of it is going to be deeply sorrowful and painful and full of grief, right? Um, and that once we're just making that decision to orient towards that, like there's so much possibility that comes through that. I really feel that even if someone is like very faintly feeling these things, just by being in the circle, they're going to feel all of that like bloom and come alive.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, I'm thinking about just the grappling with all of the like nuances because like whether you have a good relationship with your mom, whether your mom is alive, whether your mom is even proximal, could be like that things are fine, but she or they may be far away.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking about like those pieces of like still there is a place here for anyone who has a mother, wants to be like bring their conflicted feelings. It feels like some of our intention as we were talking through like who is this for, who belongs here? It's
Hmm.
really like um I've been kind of categorizing it for myself because I am one of these people as a space for people who want to bring more intentionality to the day in general, but
Yeah.
also a space for anyone who feels like they want something different than the Hallmark experience and want a place where their conflicted feelings, like if this day feels weird for you, this is a place for you where you can bring all of your
Yeah.
conflicted feelings, where you can be somebody who longs for your mother, who wants to honor or celebrate somebody else who has been a mother figure to you, where if you have been trying to become a mother, there's like a whole fertility aspect of this where like their motherhood is not quite recognized in the world, or they're in this sort of
Yeah.
liminal in between space where there's this longing and you want it so bad and you see people around you and there's pain there. We also talked about ways that it may fit for someone who I like hesitate to go there because it's painful, but that's also part of what we're trying to bring, like for anyone who's lost a child, and then are grappling with what's my relationship to mother when I am a mother and I had a living child and they're no longer here. Like where's my place on Mother's Day? And I
Right.
think that's like um ultimately in all of its complexity. And we want people to come who are wanting to celebrate a mother, like we want families to be a part of this. We want children to be a part of this. And we can get into some of those logistics after. But it's really like anyone who really wants to have a place and a space to be like anything but just like yay positive, here's some flowers, mom.
Right.
And to have a place at the table.
Yeah. And I think also because we spoke to so many ways in which, this day may be painful for folks. And it's really easy. It's just one day. And then the rest of the year, the world forgets, right? Or
Totally.
or goes back into dissociation.
Right,
And I
right.
think there's a wealth of ways that we could numb out, we could stay frozen, we could dissociate and let the time pass and do nothing with it. And the years roll by doing that, right? And this is really a place where you can be present through the wide range of complex feelings you may be having, where that's welcomed, where we're
Mhm.
making space for it, and where there are other people like here to be with you in that complexity and in that pain without shying away from it. I feel like there's always this, or culturally in the mainstream world, there's this sensation. If you see somebody expressing their grief or their rage or their sadness and their sorrow, like even happiness to an extreme, people react to it as though it's a reason why you shouldn't belong. And that
Right.
is like the exact opposite of what we're doing. Like those
Well,
feelings, all of the
that's an
things.
entire other like, we could have an entire conversation just about that piece for
For
sure.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I see that as being like, that's the magnet. If you're
Yeah.
having big feelings, it actually doesn't matter what those feelings are. You are meant to be here. Like that's feeding the cauldron of this collective fire that is really like stoking the seeds of matriarchy in our hearts. And that I see kind of like really bringing everyone that has touched this event, even though it hasn't happened yet, I've watched us come alive.
Oh, absolutely.
you know?
It has its own life. It has the ripple effects.
Yeah.
I think there's a piece to what you're speaking to of like the world going back, right? Like this weekend's going to happen and then the world's going to go back. I think
Yeah.
something we're also trying to accomplish here is to be a nourishing space so that you can come and fill your cup a little bit so that when the world does go back, because that's real,
Hmm.
right? Like it's going to be May, was it like 12th or something, and then the world's going to go back to just doing the same old thing. So how can we fill the cups of all the people who want to, be involved in this and nourish them a little bit? So that they can go back out into the world, so that they can keep doing the important, incredible, sometimes thankless work that is
Yeah.
involved with connection to motherhood. And I'm just so moved by like some of the different offerings, like the cacao breast massage, like how beautiful it is to nourish your body in that way, to appreciate these like incredible parts of our body that do so much, that mean so much to so many. Even like, birth storytelling, like the power of
Mhm.
being able to tell your birth story, like that's an epic day of your life to have that be witnessed in community, in motherhood, and yeah, to be able to relive that day. For some people, that was a very traumatic day. For some people, that was
Yeah.
like the day that was the best day of their whole lives. And then like the full range in between. And then to have like storytelling and like song circles and like open mics to receive appreciation. Like this really is intended to be a cup filling in addition
Hmm.
to an honoring.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a big, big part of that is this collective sharing of the responsibility and the joy and like the true joy and pleasure that it is to look after and care for children.
Yes,
Because
totally.
so many times, right? Like mothers are prohibited or are unable to access resourcing or unable to access nourishment because there's no one available that's trustworthy to hold and care for their child. So I'm wondering if you want to speak a little bit to like the vision of how we've woven, childcare into the experience so that it could be accessible.
Absolutely. That was something that we were saying is like we want this experience to come. We want all of these people to be able to come and to get nourished. But in order to really honor that experience, like we can't leave the children at home. There are families, there are children
Right.
that want to be there with their families as part of this celebration. And so we thought we don't want to just like watch the kids. We also want to get the kids involved and give the kids an experience that helps them really like be modeled. What does it look like to have
Mhm.
this honoring of motherhood and matriarchy? And so there's going to be a music class. So we're going to have childcare, people that are there just solely responsible for feeding, for tending, for like tuning into the like emotional and physical and ideally spiritual needs of these children. And I don't mean that from like a religious perspective, just more like
Right.
the honoring that we're talking about. Um, but so we'll have like actual childcare providers that are, like vetted through the state, that are preschool teachers, different things like that. And then we'll have some really meaningful, beautiful activities to support this bigger mission. So we'll have a music class dedicated to motherhood, matriarchy, all of this stuff, led by a dear friend of mine, Alexis, and she's an incredible music teacher. We'll have potion making with Emma Fox,
Mm.
who is the incredible leader and like founder of Artemis Pack, which is a like a youth like an after school youth group for magical queer children.
Ah.
We'll have Emma's amazing. Alexis is amazing. We're gonna have a craft activity with Daniel. We're gonna have like a kids yoga class with Veronica. We're gonna have just like all of these really beautiful honoring of like what it is to be in celebration of this weekend. But
Yeah.
also like what meets the children, what keeps their interest, what like really lets parents be able to drop their kids off in this childcare
Mhm.
environment and feel like they've got me. So now I
Yeah.
can go tend to me.
Oh, I love that. It's so special. I've never seen an event offer something this comprehensive. Like at most, if they have childcare, it's like a space with some toys and they're not really even that engaged with the kids. So
Right.
designing this parallel experience where we can be in tandem, like nourished with our children and nourished by the experience of being around children. Like
Yeah.
I can't even express, like, my son just turned 16 this month, being around hearing little babies, hearing like little kids, like, making all kinds of noise. Like I'm excited for that music class because I can't wait to hear like the waves of joy just like washing over me. I think it's really so spiritually nourishing to be in a space where we can be honored without needing to be separate, and still maintaining that connection and being able to see the intentionality in the way that people are trying to, hold and care for, our kids, and the sensation of like all children are our children, right? The
Yeah.
sensation of people really owning that, where, no matter whose child it is, we are taking the absolute best care of that child and valuing that life as like a sovereign soul that's the most deserving of care. And I know in this world, in the current state of things, we are constantly in it. At least for me, I can say I'm constantly in a state of fear around, like I'm glad that my child is older now because it was exhausting to be so afraid and want, and you can't be there all of the time. So it's nice to know that, this is led by mothers.
Hmm.
No one can keep children safer than other mothers, right? And the people that are stepping up are going through and committing to this rigorous vetting process and really putting all of their qualifications on the table. Like, this is why I'm suited for this. This is the intention I want to create, and then kind of letting everybody work together in this container to make it a beautiful collaborative mosaic of, the village life that I know that we all are longing for, even if we don't let ourselves think of it as being possible yet. This is kind of like
Totally.
a
I think
taste
that's
of
the
that.
potential of this vision. That's like where the power is. When I think about the world I want my kids to inherit and what do I want them
Hmm.
to be modeled about what it looks like to honor your parent, I'm like, this is it. Like this is what the world I want to see as far as how we model for our children, what it is to be a child and be free to be connected to their community and cared for by their community, but also what does it look like for me to like give my parent the reverence and to like even honor
Yeah.
the elders and ancestors that came before them, about how to really honor the roles that they've taken on and the wisdom that they have to share. So it does feel like we're like really taking on this, true to the title, this reimagining of Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last piece that is really important to make sure people understand is, when they go to the Eventbrite,
Hmm.
we're in some of the tickets, there's food included, which we have the beautiful Kiki that will be doing vegan, home cooked. And I mean from scratch. This woman, not even the sauces are store bought. She is making everything from pure whole ingredients. I get sick from everything with my ulcerative colitis. I truly cannot really eat anything. I've never gotten sick from her food. Every single time I eat it, like I feel good. I feel like healed. I'm like, Kiki, can you actually cook for me 100% of the time? That would be great for me. But yeah, so I think looking at some of the pricing, people may feel like that is either within their reach or maybe exceeds their reach. And we've put a lot of different strategies in place to try and make sure that this is accessible for people. I wonder if you want to speak a little bit to that.
Totally. I mean, we've had in mind really how do we honor and value and shift the ways like thinking about how we value what people are offering and putting into this. And
Mhm.
I'll just speak to like what we've really wanted to value are the people who are watching the children, the
Yeah.
people who are tending to the children. We've really wanted to have like a compensation exchange. The people who are bringing the food and the nourishment, those who are really making space and the facilitator, those are who are making space to really create this nourishing environment and allow this cup filling and this honoring to really happen. We've really wanted to prioritize valuing them and valuing the effort and energy that that takes. And we've also really wanted to do our best to make it accessible. And so, from that place, we want to give people a lot of options. So you can opt into or out of childcare. You can opt into different, of the offerings. You can just come for the opening circle and be a part of that opening and the breast massage. You can just come on Mother's Day and share your birth story, participate in the open mic and the writing workshop. You can come for the song circle. You can come for the different days, and you can
Mhm.
participate to the amount that you want to. And then we've also like really wanted to work with people. And so please know if you are seeing these costs, please know it's not going to anything but really honoring the people who are bringing this together and supplying some of the supplies.
Yeah.
And also know that we really don't want anyone to feel like they're missing out on this opportunity because cost is a barrier. And so we do encourage you to reach out to us. It's not burdensome to us. Please don't feel afraid to do so. We really want to work with people. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I know there's discount codes on the
discount rate.
Eventbrite itself that are available to make things kind of sliding scale. But even beyond that, if you are looking at it and you're feeling even this littlest pull that you want to be present, there's no shame in reaching out. Like, we are here to make sure that this is not, that your proximity to wealth is not the reason why you can't attend. If there's other reasons, that's fine. We can't control everything, but we can
Right.
control this one thing. And there's truly no shame in it. I have myself throughout my life I wouldn't be a yoga teacher if they didn't give me a work trade. I wouldn't be a Reiki master if I wasn't able to get discounts. I would have missed out on, I can't even hundreds of experiences that have made me who I am if I wasn't brave enough to reach out and just see
Hmm.
if people would welcome me, even though I didn't have the resources. And I'm really excited to be able to donate my time in this way so that we can make it accessible for other people that may be in that position as well. You know, everyone says a rising tide lifts all boats, but nobody wants to be helping with
Right.
that, and we are
Yeah.
really
And
actively
that's the
helping
call.
with
That's the
that.
call to action is like be a part of that.
Yeah.
Um, and for those who are coming and making the investment to be there, please know and rest assured that your money, your finances are going towards an incredible cause, which is really like
Yeah.
shifting our culture around honoring mothers, motherhood, matriarchy, but also towards a space just to like plug and talk a little bit about the sanctuary space. It's a space
Yeah.
intended for mothers and children to thrive, to live in community, and for the nourishing food that's also being brought there, that we're in this beautiful, well-intended venue that's really going to continue this mission and to be of service to the world in this way of giving mothers and children a place to land and be and feel safe and feel celebrated and like live in beauty together. And so that's also part of the mission of what's being supported here and cultivated and created on that land.
Yeah. I can't think of a better place for money to go.
Oh, seriously. Seriously.
Like, talk about a real investment. Like, this is an investment in our communities and our families, in our social fabric.
Right.
As the empire crumbles around us, I really feel like what we are seeding is this new future, this new version of the world that we all deserve, that
Yeah.
we wish that we had when we were children, that we wish our mothers had, and I really feel that like ancestral push where like everybody is hungry for this and wants to experience this, through our bodies. This is a first in our, at least for hundreds of years. For a lot of us, this is the first in our lineage where we are really getting to experience this version of motherhood, this version of community. So, yeah, I'm really thankful to everybody who's able to invest and show up, whether you're just bringing your energy and your presence, or you're also able to contribute financially, and also all of our other facilitators that are, donating their time and really making the decision to say, like, this is worth it.
Yeah.
And I see this really rippling out, and I'm excited to see what people benefit from it. Yeah.
Totally. Oh, me too. I'm like, I've said this, in different ways and different platforms, but I am 36 years old, and this is the first time in my entire life I'm looking forward to Mother's Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah.
Literally, I'm like, this is the only place. When we started talking about this is the only place I want to be. This is the only thing that I want to be doing that weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I feel
Mhm.
so good about it. I've invited my mother and my grandmother because I want them to be able to see.
Mm.
Um, and I don't know if they'll come, but fingers crossed.
But
I
how
hope
nourishing,
so.
even planting the seed. I feel like I've heard from people that even just reading the description is like, they're like,
Yeah.
I can't make it. I got to family stuff, but like, I'm just really appreciating this event exists and like super me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so beautiful.
Mm.
Thank you for
We hope to see whoever's
steeping.
listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time and, in your ways believing in this mission. And we really hope to see you there. Come be with us. Come be a part of like a different kind of revolution. It doesn't have to be, dramatic and not dramatic. It doesn't have to be this like, affronting thing. It can really be this like returning towards village, returning towards community, returning towards like really, really honoring what's important to us.
Yeah, rooting down into a new fertile soil. I'm really, really so excited. Thank you for steeping in it with me today. That was really
Oh, it
so
feels good. I feel
juicy.
so alive right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm, sweet.
Well, there is a link in both of our bios where
Yes.
you can click, where you can follow. If you're watching this on Substack, the link is above or below this video. Go get it. We're going to spam it everywhere. If you can't come, share it with all the mothers you know. Share it with everybody you know. Even if it sparked any bit of little hope or excitement or fire in you, help us get this out to the people who need it and who are ready to receive from it. That is no small part in the mission. Is you can be a ripple even if you're not ready to be present during that day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Something else, just a last piece that I want to name is that we're going to bring this into the opening circle as well. But what we were talking about was this idea of we have named, like in this conversation, we've named who this is for, we've named some of our intentions, we've named like what we're aiming to do here, and this is
Hmm.
for what has been named, and it's also for all there's millions of things, so
Oh, yeah.
it's also for what hasn't been named. The idea is that it
Mm.
all has a place here when it doesn't have a place out there. And so I just want to speak to, like, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I'm still not sure because it hasn't spoken to my specific experience, like, please know it's for the stuff that we've named, and it's also for you in your uniqueness of your experience to have a place on this specific day, weekend.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Thank you for calling that in. Yeah, really, the attendees are as much collaborators. Like we are stewarding this. There
Yeah.
is no leader, right? Like
Yeah.
the experience and the life that it has is really the leader that we are all in service to. It's this vision of matriarchy, of true community, that we are all in service to. And it's so big that no one of us, even, the six of us together, none of us have a window big enough to see the whole thing. That's why we
Right.
need others to come in and shine their light and say, this is what I'm seeing. This is how it is from my experience, from my vantage point. So yeah, there's even if what people are bringing is different than what we've named, it's welcome and it's, a meaningful part of the whole. So
Absolutely.